Well, hello there, Tribe World, to all our tribal brothers and sisters. Welcome to yet another podcast, and I'm joined now by somebody I know who is another iconic, very well-loved figure within our tribe fandom. And please join me in welcoming the lovely and very talented Meryl Cassie. Good morning, Meryl.
Hello, good morning to you all.
Nice to hear your voice, Meryl. And how are you? But more importantly, where are you right now? Now that we're all in lockdown, you're up in. You were mentioning you're at the family bench.
Yes, I'm up in Auckland, and it's so lovely to hear your voice as well, Ray. So thank you for the call. Yes, I'm in Auckland, up north, at a family batch that we've had for many years. It's beautiful and serene out here, so very blessed to be here.
Good. And Meryl, some viewers around the world, some listeners around the world might not be aware of just exactly what a batch is. So maybe you could paint a picture of what it's like there.
Absolutely. Well, if you can think of an old school little getaway, a batch is always known to me and my family as a little sanctuary, a home away from home. We're really blessed here in Auckland. It's in a place called Stillwater, which is in a little valley and close to a lake. The kids love it, we love it, and it's a real little haven.
Oh, that's good. And what are you doing to keep yourself occupied every day, Meryl?
Oh my gosh, tell me about it. Well, you keep yourself occupied with 3 busy kids, for one. 3 busy, very happy children who at the same time, especially in this time that the world is facing right now, they keep us occupied and entertained and grounded and keep us sane from all the insane things that happen in the world from time to time.
Are they aware of what's going on? I mean, do you talk about it? Or
We do talk about it mildly. We like to kind of keep them distracted by the fun and the positive things too. So, we're teaching them the hygiene. So little Breezy, who is my daughter, who is 6 now,
wow.
Very intelligent, very independent young lady. So she's constantly asking questions. Mum, why are we washing our hands all the time? Why are you wearing a mask? Why are you doing this? So with that comes the education. But at the same time, we still want them to be the innocent kids who have a safe, clear mind and not worry too much about what's going out there as well.
Meryl and I were just having a chat before we started recording, and I was saying that I'm sure everybody's feeling the same sentiment. I'm sick and tired of washing my hands. I've got no skin left. I mean, it's just...
I know!
It's just crazy.
I've never sanitized so much in my life.
No, it's just meant that... and so, Meryl, your 3 children, that's... and this is what's great about these podcasts. It gives us a chance to open up and find out a little bit more about you and your messages to your fans around the world. So how does it feel? You obviously, you were a young mother, weren't you?
Well, I was 23 when I had Rylan, who was my firstborn son, who is now a teenager. I cannot believe it.
Yeah.
So he's 13, he started college. And then, of course, I've got Breeze, who is 6. And then Diaz, my youngest, who has just turned 5 and has started school. So it's amazing how they've grown and how I've been a parent for the last 13 years.
And Meryl, I mean, again, in different countries around the world, we're all obviously in a similar boat and interconnected with this virus. But, I mean, New Zealand was unexpectedly put in lockdown, 4 days ago?
So 4 days ago. So today we're in our 5th day of lockdown. An applause for our Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, who's done a fantastic job to put these lockdowns in place and just to keep us as safe as possible. As we know, worldwide, the numbers are growing. It's a really scary time, so precaution, I think, is key. And what's crazy is that everyone in the entire globe right now is going through the same thing. Mother Nature has a way of telling us, well, clearly, to just stop, halt and pause. And I think there's just a time where we need to listen.
Yes, no, that's an interesting insight. Yeah, I've always been fascinated by something known as Gaian. And we featured it in the with the kind of with Eco Tribe, but and Pride. But the Gaian hypothesis is such that it's an evolutionary. I mean, Mother Nature is an amazing thing, not just confined to the natural world, but the human species as well, where it kind of self-regulates and it gives us a chance to, if we're going in a different, bad direction, it will kind of stabilize us. And I think so. You're quite right that. And Meryl, I mean,
definitely.
Some other information. I mean, some of the listeners might not be aware. You were actually born in South Africa, eh?
I was. I'm South African born, from Cape Town and from my mum's beautiful hometown of George. And I've been in New Zealand since I was 3, so this is going on 32 years. Wow. And New Zealand is our home away from home. We love it. We've called it home for many years. South Africa will always be our roots, and I'm very proud of that. So I am South African born and very proud.
So who do you support in the rugby if South Africa and New Zealand are playing?
Well, that's been a tough one. Our whole family has been very two-faced over the years because my sister, my older sister Megan, who played Java, her husband was an All Black, Peter Alatini. So it was always back and forth, the All Blacks, and then, the Springboks, come on, where are we actually standing here? So we were always tied between the two, but it also made the game so fun, we'd put bets on between the family. That was some fun times.
And Meryl, you place family very highly in your life, don't you?
Very, very much so. Family is key, and I have to put a mention to my amazing mum, Barbara Kirshner, who has created such a strong foundation for myself and my siblings over the years. She raised us on her own. There was always love and kindness and stability and security and fun. We always felt safe. We always felt loved. And she continues to raise us that way, which is how I think we've now adopted that measure and raised our own kids in that light. I think it's so important for those out there to hear that whether they come from a stable family or not, to believe, to have faith that there's always a soft landing, which I think is really important. We all go through challenges in life. And what I have found over the years, given our strong family support and network, with that, you can do anything. So I'm really, really grateful. Love you, Mum. Big shout out to her.
So likewise, if you're listening, Barbara, much love to you. To the listeners, I've had the pleasure of getting to know Barbara quite well. We've had while we were filming, you used to have some enjoyable dinners. You might remember, Meryl, and your mum she's been at the Vineyard, and she's a big supporter of yours. And I mean, I've seen her dancing in the front row when you're performing, and your sisters, Monique and Megan, and your brother, and I mean, just a wonderful family. Meryl, maybe we could go into some, and again, don't stop me if you would not like to go into it, but you face your own mortality. You were very ill, weren't you, a while back?
I was, Ray. I will never forget the year of 2016. And I was touring actually at the time with a Cirque production. So these days it's more kind of music and entertainment that I've been doing. So in 2016, cutting a long story short, I was actually performing in South Africa, my place of birth. And within the first 2 months, out of the blue, I woke up one morning and really struggled to breathe. And I'm thinking, what the heck is this going on here? Anyway, one of my children needed to go to the bathroom, and I got up to take her to the bathroom, and that's the last I know. Next thing, I have paramedics around me and went into cardiac arrest, believe it or not, and got rushed to intensive care. And this is, from memory, this was in Durban at the time in South Africa. And they discovered severe clotting in my lungs, PE they call it, pulmonary embolism. And it's still a mystery up to today on how that occurred. But I'm very lucky to be alive. And since then, I look at life so differently.
Did it change your life, Meryl? Did it all give a different perspective?
It really did, Ray. It also made me realize, don't sweat the small stuff. Anything can happen at any time. And it's not even an age thing these days, you know. Any time, any age, any stage of your life, anything can happen, whether you're fit, healthy, young. We just need to appreciate life, appreciate the obstacles, and learn from them as well, because now I look at life in such a different way. I have an open perspective, open eyes, more kindness, more love, etc., etc.
No, it's a lovely attitude, Meryl, and I'm sure our listeners will find that very inspirational. Now, I just hope if anybody can hear some
Yes.
background engine noise, it's just I'm here in Australia and looking out, and there's somebody on a mower a little while away. So
Oh,
I hope it's not too distracting. They'll be finished soon. But so, Meryl,
okay.
with you, that's interesting. I mean, maybe you were touring with the circus, and you were tremendously, I know, in New Zealand, very popular and loved. And so you're a ring mistress.
I was. Yes, first time they had a female to be centre stage there as a ring mistress, not a ring master.
How did you get involved?
So this was with the Weber Brothers Circus, and we've got quite a close family connection with them from years ago, before the circus even started. So we'd been talking about it over the years, about me being a part of it. My brother actually coordinated the world tour that it was all about. So he was the main man and brains behind taking this overseas and really creating a show-stopping tour, an international craze, if you could call it.
Wow.
And so, because I've had children, it was a bit of a juggle. Am I going to do it? Should we wait a bit longer? And then it just happened at the right time, where they started the tour, asked me to be a part of it. I said, why not? You know, we only live once. Let's lap it up. The kids came with me, and off we went.
Were they homeschooled, or you?
They were homeschooled, but again, they was younger then, so it wasn't too, you know, when I first went, Diaz wasn't even 1 yet, and Breeze was going on 3, so the homeschooling wasn't a big thing then. More than anything, it was a life experience, and let's go and have some fun together. And yeah, and we toured, had sold out shows across the whole of South Africa for 10 months.
Wow.
Then had a little break, came back to New Zealand, then went to Korea to go and do this tour, and came back and actually toured New Zealand.
You were in Korea. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, so that was, from memory, 2017. So the
What a
following year
terrific
after South
experience.
Africa, we
It's
did
amazing.
Korea. It was a smaller stint then, not as long, but what an experience. It was winter time, so it was very cold, but
Wow.
it was a great time.
And then in New Zealand, I mean, you were living in a trailer then, or a caravan, and
We had caravans, between caravans, hotels. We had some amazing sponsors in South Africa, so we were put up in beautiful hotels and sponsored by one of the casinos over there. Then Korea, we also had some pretty interesting accommodation. And then coming back to New Zealand, it was the first time I really experienced circus life and caravans and traveling from place to place in your home on wheels.
what a wonderful experience, and and for the children as well. That's a great, a great experience. Truly a gypsy life.
Yeah.
I mean, and Meryl, and so what have you been doing lately? You've been obviously we know. I mean, for some of the listeners, Meryl is always a tremendous draw at our Toast Martborough event at my vineyard, and the last I saw Meryl was literally just a few months ago, and she's if any of you get an opportunity to hear Meryl live, you jump at it. She's born to be on the stage, stunning. I mean, absolutely, you put on a great show, and music has always been a big love of yours, hasn't it, Meryl?
I love performing at Tirohana. It's my favourite vineyard, I might add. Music is a huge passion. I love to perform. I love to sing. I love to entertain. I love to songwrite, which now that we're in isolation, I'm trying to do a little bit of that. So when I took a little break from the circus, it was all about coming back, focusing again on motherhood and getting my kiddies settled into school. And then I've been gigging a lot. I just do different events, all sorts, whether it's for corporate function or businesses, Christmas parties, vineyards, weddings, etc. So I love to perform, and I think it's rubbing off on my kiddies, who I think are going to be little performers too.
So they're following in their mum's footsteps, and where did you
Well,
get
the
your
girls
love?
are, yes.
Where did you get your love of music from? Was it from your mum, Barbara, or others in the family? I know Megan. Again, some of the
Yes.
listeners will be I mean, a number of years ago in New Zealand, before the American Idol and UK Idol,
Yeah,
Megan won the very first of these talent and was with a big band called True Bliss, and very talented. And Monique, of course,
absolutely.
yeah. So you're a very talented family, Meryl. That's amazing. So it must be a genetic,
Uh,
and,
oh, we love it. And yeah, we love to perform together. I think my mum is a beautiful singer.
ah,
Megan, who did extraordinary with True Bliss, who was the first ever reality pop stars, by the
that's
way.
right.
And then, so New Zealand actually started that whole craze as well with True Bliss, and then the reality show of putting the band together.
Yeah.
Monique, who is an amazing dancer. She is our dancer of the family. She's not huge on actually loving the stage, but she is absolutely incredible. And then I'm so thankful for my brother, McGill, Sebastian, who is an amazing composer, an amazing piano player. He's
Wow.
a lawyer by trade, but put him in front of music and the creative flow here is just incredible. So it's so nice that we can all share that together.
Isn't that
Um,
lovely? That,
and then I think the sporting side then comes from my dad, who was an amazing rugby player in South Africa. And all of our kids actually in our family, my sister's sons, Rylan, my son, I think they're all going to be sportsmen later on because they love that side of things. So
is it
yeah, it's
interesting?
interesting.
Does your dad still live in South Africa, or is he in New Zealand now?
So my dad's been based in Australia for a long time,
Yeah.
for many years now, but he comes to New Zealand to visit us, or we go to Australia, which is our neighbour country, to go and
Yeah.
visit him. So he's been out of New Zealand for a while, but at least we know he's not far.
And your mum,
Um,
is she
so
back and forth between South Africa and New Zealand?
she is. She actually reached her little dream of building her own home on her family property in George in South Africa. That was done around the time we were touring in 2016. So she's back between the two. Then she's here in New Zealand, and then she goes back to her little abode, what she calls Pophace, which
Wow.
is called the dollhouse in translation, back in South Africa. So she gets the best of both worlds.
So Meryl, just I mean, you first came into my life as a very young lass, and I know I had a message from you when you saw on our. I mean, I think the Facebook team put up your audition tape, and you were thinking, oh my goodness, I mean, you were a bit embarrassed by that, but uh,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
that was amazing, and and a couple of I'd just like to set the record straight that
Yeah.
Meryl was never up for the role of Celine. It was quite interesting because
No.
no, I mean, and this is a testament to your talent and your very unique charisma, if I may say, without embarrassing you. That the reason you read the thing for Celine is that we didn't really have anything written at that point for Ebony. You know, I was actually looking for
No.
no. I mean, Ebony. It was a quite a small role, Zoot's woman, so to speak, and I was really keen to
Yes.
get the look more than anything, and there was something about that I saw in you, Meryl, a great look and a charisma and a sassy an attitude that I thought was very strong and you actually we you just through being who you are, that we then started to write specially for you, and because of your gifts, that Meryl and Ebony became a big central and major part of the tribe. And so, Meryl, you talk lovely
Yes.
about your children and homeschooling, and I've often
Yeah.
said that in those days at the tribe, it was almost like going into the army, where we had our own school. And what was it like for you as a
Yes.
young lady to be whisked into the tribe? And maybe you could describe what you used to be at our school, didn't you?
Definitely. I had to just quickly touch on that and let the fans out there know that I'm so, so grateful, Ray, that you gave me that opportunity back when we were 13, I think it was, because
Yeah.
I remember getting on the flight from Auckland with all the cast members flying to Wellington, and they were all saying, oh, I'm playing this one, I'm playing Celine, I'm playing Bray, who are you playing? And I remember going, I'm not quite sure yet. I
That,
don't know, but let's go and see what happens. So
yeah.
I'm so grateful. It was such a blessing. It's my highlight. I hold Ebony so close to my heart, and the whole entire show and concept and all the cast members and you and your family. So I just want to say thank you so much
Oh,
for seeing what you saw in me. Um, Absolutely honored. But to have been a part of that family, the Cloud9 family was incredible. We were so well looked after. We were so loved and taken care of, and then educated at the same time. So we had the whole homeschooling set up, and it was actually there where I built such a wonderful bond with your son.
that's right.
Um,
That's right.
and because I wasn't at that point, I wasn't on set as much as the others. So we really created a bond and had fun in the classroom. It was so cool.
That's right.
Um, and there were challenging times, obviously, because we're young and we're now away from family and we're into this new routine. But the Cloud9 family adopted us, made us, like I said, made us feel safe. What an opportunity every single one of us cast members were given by you and your team. And we are just forever grateful and so, so lucky.
Appreciate those comments, Meryl. And who would have ever thought that that show that we did was so incredible? Now we're almost living it, aren't we? It's very surreal.
I'm mind blown. I'm numb in a way of how it's all real. This is no series anymore, and that's why I keep going back and I think, what a genius you are, Ray. 20 years ago, this concept you brought to life. We've forever had such amazing fans since day one, which
Yes.
I've been so grateful for. And to think that 20 years later, not only because of the virus now, they've supported all these years, and now especially that this is coming to life, um, it's unreal. But I'm so happy that even in this dark, trying time, sorry, and uncertain time, the show has given thousands across the globe hope.
Yes.
I get messages like you and the other cast members do daily, hundreds,
Yes.
saying thank you, saying we're binge watching it right now on Amazon Prime. We're adults now, but our kids are loving it. Um, you made my childhood. You've changed my life. It's unreal. And I think even just with those little comments, we've done our job. It's not about fame. It's not about money. It's the impact that the show and the certain characters. It's the impact and that we've had on real lives out there. Um, that's what it's all about.
I mean, it's amazing how it's emotionally connected. And we did an interview with Danny the other day, and we are discussing. It's different if you can only bottle it or even understand it. But I think, Meryl, what it is, I think that there was it wasn't a Hollywood a squillion dollar kind of budget. I mean, but it was made with love and passion and heart and all of the cast. I mean, 100%. Yeah, very much so. And I think that and some of the tours. Maybe we could discuss that because you were very central on the tours where you had that chance to. I mean, in New Zealand, celebrity, it's an anonymity, if that's the right word, anonymous kind of existence. Where, but you then go to some of the countries and then you see what you're saying personified, it manifests with when you see these thousands of people, how you have touched their life. And how was that, Meryl, some of those tours?
Gosh, those tours were incredible. I remember going on the first tour after the first series with Caleb and Dwayne, Bray and Lex. What an experience. I mean, that was now just, whoa, we have landed on the other side of the world. We get the airport that is packed out with tribe bands and their tribe makeup, even early hours when we arrived at maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. They were dedicated from day one. Um, so to have been a part of those promotional tours where we could give back what they have given us was amazing. And to see the rest of the world, to see the love and support worldwide, um, was incredible. And I did several tours with you. Um, so grateful for that because we saw the world whilst doing what we love with the show. Um, and it was just, I'm speechless because it's memories that I will hold on to forever.
Yeah, well, we have to look to the future as well because some of the listeners might be of interest. Meryl and I, we've been chatting and talking about maybe trying to do some more of that, and maybe some tribe conventions or something, and Dragon Con, you're in Dragon Con Atlanta in the States, but and they've been in touch actually to maybe see if we're interested to, which we are, if we can bring it together and get everybody's schedules, but and certainly something again in Europe. So for the listeners, you should watch this space, because Meryl, I know, would be up for that. Now, Meryl, we've got so many questions that from some of the fans. So I'm hogging you all the time here. So what character traits do you feel you share with Ebony? And this is from Alicia Perez. She's also asked a couple of other supplementary questions. What was the hardest scene to film? And what was your favorite scene to film? So three questions there. What characteristic traits do you feel you might share with Ebony?
Okay, so for the first question, well, if you asked my family that, they would say that the stubbornness reflects me perfectly. I would debate that. Of course, but I'll let them have that one. But Ebony she's extremely strong, very, very independent. So I think I share a little bit of that. I think, with myself in my real life, I'm very independent. I like to stand on my own 2 feet. But at the same time, through all that, deep down, there was a lot of sensitivity and vulnerability, a real soft side, I think, that spoke through her tough exterior. And I feel like I share a little bit of that. There's the strong side, which you have for whatever reasons, and then underneath all those layers, there's a sensitive side. And I think deep down, I share a little bit of that with her.
Well observed, that's for sure. And did you have a memory of what the hardest scene might have been to film, Meryl?
Oh, the hardest scene. There was so many different kind of scenes. I think maybe because I didn't have a lot of acting experience back then, it was really for myself coming out of my shell, building my confidence, and allowing myself to really, really take on the role of Ebony. So I think when we started the first series, I remember you, Ray, would say, okay, you're going to be strong here. You're Zoot's girl. You're at his side. But very soon you're going to be standing alone. So you've got to come out of that. You've got to believe in yourself. So I think maybe not necessarily hard to play Ebony, but a challenge for my 13, 14-year-old self to really believe in me, to portray that role to the best of its ability. And once I found that, I was ready to go.
That's a lovely way of coming at it. And what about the favorite scene? Do you have a favorite scene at all?
There was it's 5 series. To pick a favorite is really difficult. We had so many amazing times. A highlight for me was sharing the screen with my sisters. That was absolutely phenomenal. That was a dream come true, that they were able to share this with me. So that was a real highlight. The different fight scenes, the romantic scenes, the love-hate, different relationships, all of that in one created a love for everything that I was a part of. So it's a bit hard to pick one, but there was all of that.
I can imagine. That's an interesting segue. We've got a question from Sarah Marie Hogg, I think it is. And this, forgive me, Sarah, if I've not pronounced your name correctly, but I'll just read this. Hey, Meryl, how was it to film the scene in season 5 of The Tribe where both Java and Siva died? I think it was so sad. Then it came to that. And if they hadn't died, do you think Ebony and Java would have ever gotten on good terms again?
Hi, Sarah. Thank you for your question. It was really touching, actually, because I find when I'm doing a scene or acting, I really get into the role for that moment. So it was so real at the time, and really emotional. Because I also knew that after this, they weren't going to be in the series anymore. So it was a touchy scene. We all felt the emotion there. And then we could give each other a big cuddle afterwards and say, it's not real gay, thank you, you're still here. And I think if they did stay, it would be really interesting to see where their relationship would have gone between Ebony and Java. Again, a love-hate relationship. But then do sisters just find that bond again after, or does family always, come on top and find their bond no matter what? So I would hope that they would have that strong connection, but we just will never know. And sometimes a question mark's always nice. Then we leave it up to the imagination of you fans and what you would have liked to have seen.
Now we've got another question from Jeannie Chloe. Jeannie Chloe. Again, three
Jeannie.
parts. Yeah. So how is life in New Zealand right now?
Hi there, darling. Life in New Zealand is very still. There's an eeriness in the air. Everybody is actually listening to the isolation rules at the moment. Everyone is uncertain of what's happening. So I think there's a lot of fear. But what I'm trying to install in how we're going through this in our household is to remain as positive as we can. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, and I think we just have to have faith and believe that we will come out on top of this. Like I said before, Mother Nature has a way of just saying, hold up. And how I find myself kind of getting through this, which is it is a negative time, but I believe and have heard for the first time in so many years, we have clearer skies. Canals around the globe, that are clear, marine life that's coming to life and swimming to the surface, happy in this new environment that we as humans have to adapt to. So it's really, really bittersweet. We've been forced to just stop. Is that a bad thing? I don't know. But just to have faith that we will be okay, and to stay as positive as we can.
I think that's a very wise, and I agree entirely. And in fact, the series, that was always an aspiration that I had, Meryl, when doing this series, was to keep it rather than dystopian and apocalyptic, to have the themes of the tribe positive and aspirational about building a better world and a future for your children, my children, our grandchildren, our brothers and sisters around the world, where, for the sake of humanity, and to be positive and to live in the moment and to they call it now mindfulness, I guess, but it is. I mean, not to let anxiety play its part. I mean, I always look at risk analysis as anything is possible, but very few things are probable. And if you listen to your fears, and it's like fast food, junk food, don't feed your fears. And in fact, A.J. Payne in one of the books said it better, that the fear makes the wolf bigger, and so I think that,
100%.
And that's the thing. Like even after all this, because it's a difficult place, this world to be in at times, and I do question humanity from time to time. And so then I also try and think and hope that after all this, not only do we possibly create another series, a comeback series, but that the humans come out of this appreciating the simple things and just respecting and loving, this planet that we've been blessed with. So I hope that during this lockdown, we all have a little bit of time to think, to question ourselves, and to come back, as better people.
No, that's a nice response, Meryl. And that actually segues. I've got a question from somebody on Instagram, and forgive me for if I mispronounce it. Stinnerowell. So, Meryl, do you feel that the show is a timely reminder of what we still need to achieve as humans? And I think you've answered that, Meryl, in a very, very beautiful way. And I think, I think it's important that we've got to look after ourselves and as well as love one another, and that's very important. So bear with me, Meryl. I'm just reading some other questions.
Sure. Great questions coming in too. Thank you, guys.
And tons of them. And again, you'll have to forgive me, Tribe World, if I'm unable to get to this. I'm just inundated. We've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, so we'd be here all day. So I'm just trying to not have some. This is from Kyle. or Kylie, that not so much a question, but wanted to tell her what a terrific job she does as Ebony. I'm watching again many years later, and I'm still amazed by the layers Meryl brings to the role. How did she keep Ebony rootable despite all her misdeeds? That's a great question. And you were saying about the sensitivity, Meryl. Your portrayal, you brought wonderful layers really to that.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. There were so many layers to have fun with her. And again, like I say, getting into myself, building my confidence and believing that I can portray this amazing role that's actually been created for me. I thought, I got to get my stuff together and really make the most, because what a cool character to play. And so I thought of it that way. And then I was so lucky to bounce off such an amazing cast. And I think when you have vibes together that complement each other, that bounce off each other, that then creates your role and creates you to perform better. So I'm really grateful for the cast. I'm really grateful that I was able to build myself up, and I'm really grateful for the amazing character that I was able to play.
No, that's lovely, Meryl. I've got another question now. Again, a segue into that from Marianne. Who is your favorite character?
Hello, Marianne.
Yeah, who is your favorite character to work with in the tribe?
Oh, they were all amazing. I had an absolute ball with Caleb Ross, who plays Lex. I had a ball with Dwayne Cameron, who plays Bray, and Celine, Victoria Spence, who I'm very close with in real life. We had so much fun together. Um, the entire cast, I can't pick one. We all just had such a great time together.
That's lovely. Now there's one from Emma. That this is interesting. That your braids are infamous. How long did it take to do your hair and makeup every day?
Yes, it was indeed. And thanks to my mummy for doing my hair all those times. And I think she did Bray's wee braid piece as well.
Okay.
It would normally take about 3 to 4 hours to braid my hair. But the good thing about that is it was braided, it could stay in for about 2 months, because we also wanted it always to look fresh on the show. Um, so then I wasn't brushing my own hair every day, which was a great thing. The makeup, I think I would have been in the chair over a good hour in the morning creating the makeup look. So it was quite a length of time putting the look together, but once we were done, it was pretty worth it, because she looked pretty cool, I think.
And Meryl, an interesting, somebody had asked a question to Danny actually, and I found it quite interesting that his response, because he was asked if he didn't play Zoot, was there another character he'd like to play, and he said Lex actually. And what about yourself? I mean, if you didn't play Ebony, was there another character in the tribe you would have liked to have played?
Oh, that's a hard question. Because my mind was set on Celine in the beginning, and because, like I said, there's that vulnerable and sensitive side, and she was very mothering. Because she's so different to Ebony, I would have maybe liked to have tested that ground out a little bit.
Wow.
Um, but then there would be, the Amber role, which is quite strong and independent as well. So it would be between Amber and Celine. Um, in saying that, I'm happy with the fact that you steered me in the other direction and created the role for me, because I love my character, if I may say so myself. But if I had to choose, it would be between those two, because they're so different. So it's nice to explore as well.
Oh, that's good. And Meryl, just this is another one. Bear with me. This is from the Collective tribe, and the Collective is from our, as you'll know, Meryl, and I know that we've the three novels that tie in books. That the Collective is a tribe, but so the Collective tribe. This is a question from Meryl. What was your favorite tribe style or costume, and did you get to keep anything from the show?
Ebony had the coolest looks. Leather, PVC, or the buckles. It was every outfit she had, I actually loved. And I'm so grateful too, because the designers back then, obviously you guys are the creators of all of that, but who put them together, I think it was Gavin and Claire, who are amazing stylists and designers. Um, they put together some wonderful pieces. So there's not a particular one because I actually did love them all, but excuse me, the red jacket that Ebony wore with um, the silver kind of badges all over them, the silver holes. That was a really favorite jacket of mine. I actually think I was allowed to keep that one. There was a backup one made, so I was allowed to keep that one. Um, but yeah, I loved all of her looks, so I'm happy that I was actually able to grab that jacket.
That's great. Now we've got another one here now from Karina Rocks. Good morning, Karina. So was there a storyline you wish would have gone in a different direction or have been explored more? And then she's got in brackets, I think Ebony and Alice would have made an unstoppable power duo, brawn, brains, and an abundance of wit and sarcasm. So that's interesting.
That's really interesting. That's really interesting. Yeah, they did when they were together, they really did have something special. The bond between Ebony and Alice, they could have created something really fierce. But who knows what's still to come? Maybe that can be explored again. Um, I would have hoped, or maybe some of the fans would have hoped, I should say, that there was maybe more played out between Ebony and Bray, because although everyone knows that Bray was always Amber's and they always preferred Ebony to be with Jay or with Slade, I wonder where that could have gone if that was played with a little bit more. So yeah, it's interesting because so many of the fans out there, they have their own vision. They almost create their own little script too, which I love. So hearing all the questions and all the ideas of how they read it or fed the series, or it's really interesting to get everybody's take on it. So yeah, there's so much that we could have played with, but I'm happy also with how the script was put together.
Interesting, Meryl. I know that you're a big fan of the three novels. You've enjoyed reading those, haven't you?
Absolutely, and I do love my books. These novels, it's very interesting, and I'm not going to give away too much, but definitely great read.
Be careful about the spoilers, but you're pleased with the way that Ebony's character has evolved in the books.
Absolutely. Like I said, I don't want to give away too much, but I suggest those who have been asking, because I get messages about the books as well. Have you read them? Where can I get them? If you get a chance to get your hands on them, especially during this lockdown period, get it stuck into the books, and then I can't wait to hear their feedback as well.
That's great, Meryl. And yeah, some of the, I think AJ spent, particularly on the last book, again, without giving spoilers, that deals with a lot of the pandemic and more information about the virus. Now, Meryl, just again, a question from me now. I mean, I'm now elbowing out some of our tribal brothers and sisters. I'm being a bit selfish, but I'm intrigued as a composer and a lover of music myself, that I think it's fabulous that you're writing, your songwriting, and you know, how do you go about that? Is it something that you're waking up in the middle of the night, or you sit down and purposely do it, or does it come? Where does the creative inspiration? How does it manifest? How do you go about doing it?
Well, actually, for a few years now, actually, this is going probably for a good, or maybe 10 years, I've been on and off songwriting. And what's so brilliant is here in New Zealand, a lot of local artists or DJs or producers, beat makers, they will send me beats or music via email, or we'll sit together in a studio and just listen. And I'm either feeling something and it's coming straight away. I'm putting pen to paper and going, oh my gosh, I've got a hook. Oh yes, I've got the verse. So that's kind of how I get my flow going. Then I might hear a beat that and there's no connection. I'm like, no, let's put that one aside. So that's been really, really good. I have recorded some demos. I've recorded some of the songs that we've written. Again, really draft recordings, but also I could just be having a shower or cooking, and things will just come into my head, and I'll quickly have to get my notepad or my phone and start putting it down. So the creative flow is there, especially when I'm in the right frame of mind. And I think that over this next little lockdown period, I'll be able to do more because I find it so therapeutic as well. So we can even, have a play of some stuff. I've written little tribe songs and little hooks before as well, because so many fans ask, when are you re-recording the album? When are you re-recording Dream Must Stay Alive? So I get a lot of inspiration actually from the Tribe album and where that all started. It's really interesting.
And Meryl, I had a nice message, in fact, this morning from John Williams in England.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and John has just, congratulations to John if he's listening to this. He's
yes, hey, John.
Yeah, he's just produced a #1 album, which is doing tremendously well. And so how did you, I mean, you loved obviously in the recordings in the studio and working with John.
Loved it.
And bringing that about and singing the title song and again, we get a lot of requests and there's a lot of questions today to say, will you ever release any other music? And that's something we should think about doing, Meryl. And
definitely,
get you back in the studio and get some more music out there to the tribal brothers and sisters, because
absolutely. I would love that. Hi, John. I've got to do a shout out to John because we had a ball working with him both here in New Zealand and there in the UK and overseas. It was so wonderful and he was a pleasure to work with. The music will always be in my blood, and I don't think I'm going to be fully satisfied until we deliver something special for all the fans out there. So I would love to do something like that and touch base more on that. That'd be amazing.
No, we must do that. And Meryl, just, I mean, as a consumer of music, as opposed to a singer and a performer, I mean, what kind of music do you listen to in your personal time?
I am an R&B pop old school girl from way back. I really am. So I love to listen to Alicia Keys. I love a little bit of Beyonce. I love Jessie J. JoJo, a singer who came out when she was very young. She's now making a comeback after all these years. And then also you can't beat the old school. You know, I'll turn on a bit of Lionel Richie or the Jackson 5. Luther Vandross, Celine Dion, like there's a mix too of music that I like. So and then sometimes I just want to listen to Kenny G and listen to his instrumental playing, which I find is really therapeutic. So it's nice as an artist, well, not only an artist, but like you say, a consumer, a listener, to have a mix of all those different genres as well.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I'm personally, I mean, I I love the old Motown classics as well, and R&B. I'm really into all that. And Meryl, I noticed I don't often use Facebook, but with this situation, I kind of have been checking, and I saw some videos of you doing amazingly well on push-ups. That was amazing. So tell the listeners, how did that all come about? Is it some challenge that you've got where you I see Monique doing some amazing exercises as well. So.
Oh my gosh, that was an unexpected online challenge, a push-up challenge for a very good cause, by the way. I don't normally do online challenges, but this was for a really good cause, which is PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, suicide awareness, and mental health. So we all challenge each other. We do 25 push-ups for 25 days, and we nominate 25 people. And you nominate a person every day, and you get this strength and this flow together. Not only is it good for the cause, it's good for us. Like the first day I did it, I was like, oh my gosh, am I even going to get through 5? And now I'm not too bad, struggling, but you push on. So I'm on day 9. I'll be doing day 10 today. Actually, I might have to nominate you next, Ray. Let's see. We'll see how we go.
I think I could maybe manage 1. I tell you what, Meryl, do me a favor. I think I could win if you nominate 50 glasses of wine. I think I could do 50 glasses of wine in an hour. You know that. And it's difficult in the vineyard with it being on tap, and
exactly.
Yeah, you're
that's gold.
You got lots of food. You're in lockdown for about a month, are you?
We're in lockdown for a month, so everything is shut down except for the essential stores. So we are allowed, not that we've been yet, because you don't go if you don't need to, But the supermarkets are open, doctors, pharmacies are open, so they really knuckle it down to just your essentials. And when you do go out there, mask on, gloves on, etc. We're pretty good. We've stashed up really good. The kids have lots of entertainment at the batch. They've got a homemade monkey bars and slides and a tree house that their dad Richie did, which was so amazing. Later on today, we're going to do a homemade water slide for them. And they've got fun painting and activities to do. And, wait for it, believe it or not, they are starting the tribe from scratch.
That's really special.
They cannot wait.
Isn't that great? Oh, that's great. I mean, I love that.
So a lot of the questions, like some of the fans will say, do your kids watch it? And actually they've seen snippets, because if a fan sends me a video or something, they're like, oh, Mummy, is that you? Oh. Yeah. So they actually been asking me since then, can we watch? And now's the perfect time, because after their activities, we'll watch an episode a day that they can enjoy and learn from as well. So,
do you know, Meryl, it's quite amazing that, and I'm sure you do as well, I get a lot of letters from different fans and our tribal brothers and sisters who, this was their childhood to the tribe, and now they're parents and watching it with their children. And there's a brand new really consumers who weren't even born, who didn't found the series by accident. It's on YouTube and some other. We've tried to put it up to make it readily accessible on Amazon or our Vimeo.
Exactly.
And so a brand new generation are watching this, and so it's amazing that. And Meryl, what about
absolutely?
Yeah, so that's really interesting. So the. And while we're speaking, please give my best and love to Richie. I mean, how's he doing? Is he all right?
He's doing great. He's one that is very active and always working. So the first day, I think he was like, okay, what am I going to do now? Because I've got to get my creative flow going. So at the moment, because he's a personal trainer, he's very holistic in his outlook in life and fitness and well-being. So he's actually started online training for people. So he's and it's there's a free event. There's some that he says just give a donation of what you can, but he does online. Like last night he did a breath work where so many people tuned in and they were just in their zone.
How could our listeners where should they go to check out more information on that, Meryl?
Please go and check him out, because especially at a time like this is going to be so good for people who are at home. He literally got messages last night saying, oh my gosh, if we can do this once, twice a week, this is just going to keep me so sane. So how they can find him is on Facebook.
Yep.
At Enrich, so ENRICH at Enrich Breathwork.
That's great.
So Enrich Breathwork on Facebook, or you can search up Richard Hackney on Facebook and you can find all his links that link into his breathwork and all the amazing health and well-being that he's doing for the people out there.
Yeah, and I kind of endorse that big time, because I've had many enjoyable conversations with Rich, and I think he's a tremendous man. I mean, physically, but he's very much into the, as you say, the holistic, very spiritual man. And I think at this time we have to really look after ourselves physically. And I think that's great, you guys doing the push-ups. And I'm doing my bit with my wine. I've got this, my right arm.
I love that.
It's so strong, Meryl. I tell you, that we're raising that glass every day. But I think
that is awesome.
What I like about Rich is his kind of spirituality, and we've got to keep our mental health and our spirits strong and
exactly
to live in that moment. And so
it's a really trying time, hey, for people who, although we've just been asked to stay home, we haven't been asked now to go to war and do this or do that, but people really struggle, especially those who have been caught up in isolation alone. That can be tough, if you're not used to that. So like you said now about your mental health, your mental stability, it's so important, more than your physical. Like your mental health is so important. So please, people worldwide who might be struggling, reach out. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, and I know that he would definitely make a positive impact in your life during this time.
I totally agree, and that's wonderful. And so that this hour has flown by so fast, Meryl, and unfortunately we have to limit it to an hour. We'll have to do it again at some point, but just in closing, is there anything special you'd like to say to your fans and your tribal brothers and sisters around the world before we close?
I just want to say thank you so much. 20 years on, and we still have the most amazing fans worldwide who support us, who follow the show, who always give amazing feedback. I do my best that I can to keep in touch with them. I mean, that's the least I can do. I can only speak for myself. So there's hundreds of messages that come through daily. I try and get through at least some of them a day, just to show our love and appreciation, because you have all made this happen and you've made my job complete, and what that is to inspire. And if I can make a difference, a positive difference, even in one person's life, then I've done my job. So thank you all so much. Thank you, Ray. Thank you to your Cloud9 team. Keep the dream alive and watch this space.
On behalf of all the tribal brothers, sisters, and fans, I'd like to thank you for taking this time, and I'm sure it meant a lot to them, and you can see why from having Meryl chat why she's such a special young lady, and her and her family.
Wow, thanks, Ray.
Feature very much in my family, in our life, and we're all a family. We're all one tribe. So in closing, I'd just like to echo what you've said, Meryl, to stay safe, to stay strong, to be positive, be happy, love one another, and to live in the moment. Check out Richie's well-being thing, and you'll find that. And as Meryl said, watch this space for some more information, and till the next time, everybody, keep the dream alive, and we'll be in touch very soon. All the best. Lots of love to everybody. Yay!
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.